One thing that is different, again, we'll talk about it later as well, article and report, is that article will include the opinion, observation or comments of the author. The perspective about reading books has gladly broadened over the past few years. It's my perspective, it's my view. Okay, how do I look at it? My personal opinion. Short reports and long reports are there based on the length of the report. You can decide, or based on the subject that is being covered, you can decide whether it should be a long report or a short report. Hello and a very warm welcome to your prep school English classes. I am your English teacher, Kshama. In this session today, we are going to deal with another of your questions from the creative writing skills part, which is article and report writing. Now, what is an article? What is a report? Are they similar? Are they different? If yes, how are they different? What do they look like? These are the things that you might have in your heads. Let's clear all of that out in this session, okay? So we're going to talk about what's an article and report writing, what is the format of both of them and how are they different from each other. Let's understand what are the components that needs to be incorporated in case of an article and in case of report writing, okay? So let's understand what is an article. Okay, an article is a piece of writing published in newspaper, magazines. You might have come across these articles in many of number of, especially the printed platforms like the newspapers, magazines and websites as well. Websites, you might have read articles or blogs, for example, right? So these are written to make public aware of various kinds of topics. It requires a lot of research, good vocabulary when you're writing an article, and writing skills, updated and effective information. Why? A, in order to be updated, you will have to do a lot of research, and B, in order to make your article effective, you will have to have good vocabulary and writing skills as well in order to transact it as effectively as possible. Then it can make people well informed, change their perspective on various aspects through writing. You're trying to inform them about something, to shape their perspective, opinions about something. All of these are done with the help of an article. Okay. Now, these are printed articles, web articles. They take different formats. So based on whether it is print or whether it is a web article, these have different formats. However, what board expects out of you is the printed format of articles. That's how you're supposed to write it and address different audience, but generally their objective is the same. What's the motto? Provide information on various topics. Why are we learning to write articles, ma'am? You might ask. Now, these are the reasons. Narrate events or stories, describe current events, people, location, different types of things, provide suggestions, influence the readers, persuasive, convince them about something, okay? Factual information, expository, it could be subject-oriented, commonly used, especially is in formal or academic writing. There also you can use article writing. You've also heard of many people publishing their articles on the international, national journals, right? So gives information without including personal opinions of the writer. Okay. So in this particular case, in the expository article, we are going to get the, fact-based information without the inclusiveness of the personal opinions of the writer. Then descriptive, in case of descriptive, it provides in-depth information. Narrative, as we got to know, narration of events, right? Stories. Then let's look at the article format prescribed by CBSE. Now that we have got to know what's article, where do we use it, what are the kinds, some of the kinds. Let's look at the format prescribed by Central Board of Secondary Education, CBSE. Okay. Now over here, when you start an article, the first and the foremost thing that is required, A, is your title. The title should be at the center and it should illustrate the concept. What is the concept or the entire gist of the article that you're going to write? That should be summarized with the title and it should be catching. It should attract the reader's attention. That's one thing that is done. And after the title, there is something called as a byline. What is a byline? Is it a subtitle? No. What is it? It's the name or designation of the writer. Okay. Use fictitious information in the question. If it is not given in the question, the name and the designation, use fictitious designation. For example, the title could be something like conservation of water. Okay. And it has been written by who? It has been written by, for example, Karan. And the designation is editor, the Hindu. Okay. Editor of Hindu. That could be the name and the designation. If it's not given in the question paper, use fictitious names, okay, and designation. Then title is over. B was byline. C is you can straight away start from the introductory paragraph. Now, what is this introductory paragraph? What is it going to be? It is going to be about the relevant topic that is there. You are going to start with the, giving us some inside information. It should also be very attractive. As attractive as the title should be your introductory paragraph, because it is like, the marketing place for your entire article. People will read the first paragraph. If that is catchy, if that has information, like it is answering what, why, when, where and how, not that detail, but is going to give you these little informations as to something that is seducing you to the entire article, then that should be how your introductory paragraph, that is how it should be framed, okay? Relevant topic, sentence and explanation. Then the second one, D, is development of the topic. Now, once when you have introduced the topic, you're going to talk about, first up, you talked about how water, there is a scarcity of water resources and everything. You might take up an instance of, if you include anecdotes in the introductory paragraph, that is one way of pulling the readers into your article, okay? Then you develop on the topic that you have introduced, okay? You might have, you might discuss on various aspects about the topic. For example, what are the causes of water pollution? What are the effects that it is having? And how it can be, the way of presenting can be very different, and you can think of many ways to do it. But it is also very, it comes out very strongly if you support it with a lot of evidence, details, statistical data. If that is there, your article can go a long way, my friend. Then in the concluding paragraph, A, B, C, D, E, let's keep it E. D includes a lot of things: discussion, development of the topic, cause, effects. It depends on the topic that you have chosen. Then in the concluding paragraph, it should have the writer's opinion or comments, okay? So one thing that is different, again, we'll talk about it later as well, article and report, is that article will include the opinion, observation or comments of the author, of the writer who is writing the article, right? So you will write your opinion, this is a place where your personal opinion about the subject finds expression, okay? Comments and recommendations, solutions, hope for the action being taken, call for action or hope or warning. All of these things can be summed up in the conclusion. What was this entire article about? And at the end, there is scope for, note it down. Only in the article, there's scope for writer's opinion and comments, recommendations, solutions about the topic. Next up, let's see one such article, okay? So the heading of this article is Reading Paulo Coelho. That is the heading that we have given. Title is done. Let's look at a practical example, shall we? Then byline includes name and designation, as I told you. So this is my name, Kshama, English lecturer, prep school. Okay. So that is also done. So in the center, we have title, byline, A and B is over. Okay. Then C is what? C, as you remember, do not write intro when you are writing it. This is for your understanding. I've written intro. You can straight away start with the articles. If you look at any of the newspaper articles, it doesn't start with intro, development, paragraph and then conclusion. It is understood, right? So introduction includes the article telling you about, if you think reading is not your cup of tea, then you can prove yourself wrong. By how you can do it? By starting to read a man's works called as Paulo Coelho's work, somebody's work, which is Paulo Coelho's works. And most often there is another anecdote that has been presented. Most often they say that you don't choose a book, but a book chooses you. Okay. So with those anecdotes in the introduction, I've tried to make it as interesting as possible, which might drag you to read and get to know what is there in this article after all. Then it's true that single writer is only a drop of water in the vast ocean. I'm trying to give you some comparisons. It's more like a narrative article, which is trying also to persuade you to read who? Paulo Coelho. Okay. So if your first taste or drop of taste is something like Paulo Coelho, then the endless ocean of literature is what you will end up craving for. So introduction, I am totally trying to persuade you, convince you, make you jump into my article. So that if that job is done, great, your article is going good. In the second one, what is the second part? So A, B, C, D. D is your part or body of the article where the topic must be developed. Okay. So in the development, as a part of the development of the article, I have presented you with the second section, which is like who, is Paulo Coelho, and why only Paulo Coelho that I'm recommending you so much. So who is Paulo Coelho? He's the author of Alchemist. I'm going to give you a couple of evidence, details about Paulo Coelho. I'm not just saying just go read Paulo Coelho, go read Paulo Coelho. I'm giving you what are the books that he has written. I'm giving you evidence, as I told you, remember? So The Winner Stands Alone, and Veronica Decides to Die, Miss Pyram, and Brida, By the River, Piedra, I Sat Down and Wept. So all of these are the books by him. I'm trying to introduce him to you. Okay, then what are the achievements that he has had? How many millions of people are reading from him? So when you're doing an article, I told you that you'll do a lot of research. Okay, at the end of the research, when you've gotten information, certain details as to, for example, I'll give you most number of translations has happened only with his book, and he holds a Guinness World Record for that. These information I cannot generate it by myself. Articles should be free from plagiarism and everything to a certain extent, but the statistical data has been translated to 67 languages as of 2009 and everything. These have been borrowed from some other site. So it is mandatory at the end of, if you're writing a web article or a soft copy of it in this thing, you're sending it to a web platform. There it is mandatory that you do citations. In the reference, you will have to cite this website or quote this website from where you have taken the information. However, in the written context, you don't have to do it. Okay. So in the body of the thing, I have given evidence. I have tried to introduce you to our Paulo Coelho, and I have given you some of the datas in order to back it up. Now, at the end, what was the last one? E was our conclusion paragraph where I have to sum it up. I have to sum up the entire article and the motto or the reason behind why I have brought this up. So perspective of about reading books has changed over the period of time. It's not just academic anymore. It's about, it has broadened over the years. That's what we are talking about. Reading to know. It has moved high up in the hierarchy. It's also about, creating. So I am also at the end urging a change or something, hoping for something to happen. This is my opinion over here at the end. It includes my opinion, okay? The perspective about reading books has gladly broadened over the past few years. It's my perspective. It's my view, okay? How do I look at it? My personal opinion. And now it's not just reading to know, but also to move up in the hierarchy of creating, being able to create something. So I'm looking forward to, for something to happen as well, okay? So this is your omen to jump into the pool of vivid books by Paulo Coelho and be the Santiago of your life. If the reference sounds unknown, why are you still here? And, go check out why are you not indulging in Paulo Coelho's pages yet. So at the end, it does have my opinions, personal opinion, and what am I urging you to do? I'm also not just urging you to read, but also to create, to write your own books, right? So I hope article makes sense. These are things that you have been pretty much reading for a very long period of time. And I'm sure you can start writing your own. With the good knowledge of vocabulary, a lot of reading, you'll be able to create your own as well. Then moving forward, what's a report then? How is an article different from a report? Isn't it the same, you might ask? No. So presenting factual information based on a research. Now, when I said factual, you should understand the major thing that will not be here is that writer's personal opinion or recommendation or comment will not be included in a report. That's the major difference to a report and our article. Okay. So now based on a report, there might be articles that are written. There are projects that will be taken up. Whereas article in itself is a ready thing and will be published for people to read. Report, however, based on the report, there are a lot of things that need to happen. So report is kind of like a blueprint to many things that we might take up. However, our article, on the other hand, is a, ready dish by itself. Okay. So delivers facts, analyzes the information, gives suggestions and recommendations about various projects, not personal opinions, personal suggestions, personal recommendations. Okay, it's very factual, very objective, very scientific in nature. Different topics that can be academic, scientific, technical, business oriented. You see that it's very formal in nature, very academic in nature. Should be accurate, well structured, clear, suitable. Now, when you know that it should be accurate, it should be professional and academic, it should be structured very well. It should be suitable for, it is for the selected audience. Now, an article could be for any people that would want to read it, who have interest in it. But report, on the other hand, a report of the fossils that were found in a particular place. Now, that might not interest everybody, each and everybody. So, it's for the particular audience, and hence it will be written in a language that they can decipher with. I would say it will have a lot of, scientific terms, jargons that only those audience can understand. Whereas article, it'll have general language of way of communication that majority of the people can understand. These will have jargons. That's the other difference as well. Now, formal reports, there we go. We find it here. Well structured, emphasis on the objectivity, organization, free from personal pronouns, free from anything that is personal, because it is formal. Informal reports, short messages are given using casual language. Even if there is informal information that is given, then only then casual language will be used. Okay, only casual language. There's no personal opinion, no personal, comments that are being included. If there is informal information, then a little, informal language can be used. Short reports and long reports are there. Based on the length of the report, you can decide, or based on the subject that is being covered, you can decide whether it should be a long report or a short report. Then informational reports. These are the kinds of reports: informational reports, analytical reports, proposal reports, vertical reports, lateral reports, internal reports, external reports, within the organization and outside the organization. Based on the functions that they serve, there are kinds of reports. Okay, so periodic reports, functional reports, accounting, financial, marketing. So you know that these are formal, academic, scientific, objective. Okay, let's see how it should be. What is the format that has been prescribed by the CBSE, by the board? Okay, so first you start with the headline. Okay, it's not just a title, it is a headline. It should also be catchy. It should sum up the entire story like the title. There's no difference over here. Then in the second one, this is A. Let's keep it A. Then we have B. B is nothing but a byline, just how it was in case of our report. There's no difference till now. Title, byline, same. So byline over here is placed right here. The reporter's name. We can skip the designation, however. Reporter's name and designation, if it's there, great. Okay. Now, to the right hand side, to the margin, if you see, there's one more thing that is different from the article. What is it? You'll have to write the place. If you're covering an event, if you're talking about something, you'll have to write the place from where this report is getting ready, or where is it about. For example, now I'll say the place is Mysore. Okay, the report that I am getting ready is from Mysore, and I'll have to write the date. So it is 22nd August. Okay, I can just write the month, date and the month, no need of the year. So Mysore, 22nd August or 23rd August, this can be the thing. This, however, was not there in our article. That's also another difference. And then you start with your first paragraph, which will include most important information. It should answer. In case of our article, it was not necessary that you answer all the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and how, all of these things. It was not mandatory that it should be answered right away in the introductory paragraph, because in the developmental paragraph, you can talk about it. But over here, if you want people to get to know everything, nobody has an entire day in their hand to sit and read your report. Article is something you can read in your leisure time. But report, it's objective. Time is running. They want to know what are the crux or what are the core points that they want. They just have to look at the introductory paragraph and get it all. So your first paragraph is answering all these questions. Then your second paragraph, it'll have a detailed account. Now when you have time, then you can look into the detailed account that is there in the second paragraph. Okay, the significant one, again in that one as well, the most important information will come first. Later in the third paragraph, if you can give the background and comment. What is it comment that I'm talking about? It is again not the comment of the writer or author of the report. No space for personal comments. It is the comments of the witness or people who were present. Imagine we had a function or yoga day, for example, and a couple of them participated. So it is a report on the yoga day that was there. So I would say yoga or asanas for healthy or holistic development. That could be the headline. Then you go for, if it was your first day in the school, we are writing a report on the first day of the school, then tender first could be the first headline. Then by whom, the reporter's name, I can write my name, then it could be Kshama, teacher, so and so school. That is done. Then what was the place? Place was Mysore. Date is put. So in the first paragraph, I'm going to write about, on which day the school had its first day, and which are the classes that were coming that day, and at what time did the school start. Everything, major points I'll cover in the first paragraph. Then in the second paragraph, I'll talk about what are the activities that were taken up on the first day and how it became a memorable thing for all of them. Everything as it happened in case of the report. I am not going to include my personal opinion. How did I feel about it? How did I look at it? No, none of that matters in the report. What matters is what exactly happened. And in the conclusion paragraph, last paragraph which I talked about, it should include at least one of the witnesses' accounts. You should include the opinion or the account of people who were part of it. For example, there were kids and there were teachers who will be a part of the first day of school. So you'll include how did the teachers feel about it? How did the students feel on their first day? You have to include that. At least one witness comments or their accounts. Follow-up action, or what is going to happen next? What are they going to take up next? How did they say that they are looking forward to the year that is coming up? And you have to round up the entire report over here. Clear? That is how so there is headline A, reporter's name B, then date and place C, first paragraph, D, E, second paragraph, and F, which is your third paragraph that will sum up the entire report. I hope that is clear. Moving forward, what are the differences? This should be answered in your report. Who, name of the event, sponsor, organizer, if there were any special guests, all of those should be answered. Where and when, date, time, venue, place, town, city, all of these should be answered in your introductory paragraph, right? So, and then in your second paragraph, so this in the introductory paragraph, and then this you can go on to the second paragraph and talk about what was the event about and what were the details, how was the stage decorated, who were the people who were present and all these things. What did those present in the event think about? That is in the third one. So this is first one, second one, and third one. Just so if you'd ask me what should these paragraphs include, these should answer all these questions. Then I'm going to show you how a report looks like. I wanted to show an example. So article writing involves writer's personal opinions. So it's more like a leisure time reading stuff. But report on the other hand includes factual information. No opinion of other writer is included. And article tends to be a little shorter than reports. Therefore, report writing involves it requires a lot of writing. Report will be usually a little longer. Article, it depends on the subject. Okay. Then citizens help police nab purse snatcher. Okay, citizens help police nab person snatcher. That is the headline. Okay, and special correspondent HT who has written it. So heading is over, byline is over. New Delhi, you see the place, 8th Jan, place and time is there. So that is our A is here. Okay, B is also here. C was what? Place and time. Place and date, that is also there. And then we'll start with the introductory paragraph. Alert bystanders on Wednesday chased who, what happened, when did it happen. You see everything is being answered in this introductory paragraph. Okay, on Wednesday chased and caught who, young man allegedly snatched, what did he do? Okay, what was the amount, senior citizen, who else was affected, diverting his attention in South Extension. Then furthermore details will be given. What happened? The police said that around 11 a.m. All these are facts. You are not saying about you were also standing there, you were also afraid, but then you also contributed. Nothing of that sort. You are giving just these factual informations that will interest the specific audience that are reading these things. Okay. So 63,000 was received and much more details are given. As he looked down, the youth snatched the entire event's detail as to how it happened. Objectively, not from his perspective, objectively is presented. Ran away when Mr. Aaron raised an alarm, passerby chased, and this is what happened. Then details or future course, what is going to happen, you're going to sum it up. Okay, the suspect was identified as Kishore, a mechanic from Motihari in Bihar. The police guaranteed that the citizens for their quick action. Now, you got to know who is this suspect and what is going to happen next. Okay. The police guaranteed that this is going to happen. So either you'll have to include what the witness said. Witness said that this is going to happen later on, or these are the events that in case of the school event, we can say that these are the things that they are going to take up in the academic way. So over here, the police, whatever the account that the police has given, they have taken that and they have provided it to us. The police congratulated the citizens for their quick action. The police were like, thank you for doing so. So they would have told all of these things, and that has been reported at the end of our report. Now, this is how your report looks like. Coming back to the article, your article looks like this. There is title, of course, and then there is byline as to who has written it. There's also a little subtitle that has been given in this particular newspaper article that can also be included. However, your board does not demand it if you want me to add up. Byline by John Sanderson that has been given. Then you start with a little introduction. Okay, and then there is body of the letter, and then there is conclusion. So in this over here, you see that they have not explicitly written where this is intro, this is body of the letter, this is conclusion of the article. So this is how your generally a newspaper article looks like, which is pretty similar to how our article format looks like, isn't it? So this is our article format, and at the end, this is our report format. Clear? I hope you have no doubts. If you have any, let's talk about it in the live session where we are going to meet. Until then, take care. Work through a couple of examples to get to know what are the things that you have doubt with in case of article writing and report writing. So either one of them you'll have to attend in the final examination. I'll see you all in the sessions to come. Thank you.